It's an absolute joy, honor, and pleasure to be here this morning. Let me kick this morning off with a favorite story of mine. There was a little boy about 6 year old who came to a balloon seller who was selling balloon on the street. And he asked balloon seller, Uncle, will this red balloon go up in the air? The balloon seller said, Of course it will. So then the blue one? 100% it will. The pink one? Most certainly it will. And you know how the kids be. They can ask funny questions and give funny answers as well. A 4 year old once came to a shopkeeper and said, Girl one, she said, Uncle, how do I look? 4 year old girls. The shopkeeper said, You look very pretty, dear. He said, So, uncle, when I grow up, will you marry my son? The shopkeeper said, Of course, dear. She said, So, uncle, wouldn't you give me a free dairy milk to your future daughter in law? Children, very innocent, charming, clever, smart. They can ask funny questions, they can give funny answers too. A teacher in class asked a 6 year old, Which state of India are you from? He said, I am from Arunachal Pradesh, ma'am. She said, Can you spell it for me? She said, I am from Goa actually. Who spells are Arunachal Pradesh? Kids are kids. They are. This little boy asked, Will the pink balloon go up? Will the red balloon go up? Will the black balloon go up? Will the blue balloon go up? The expectantly balloon seller said, Look, darling, the balloon does not go up in the air basis on their color. The balloons go up in the air basis on what will inside of them. The gas, the air. That is what takes the balloon to the heights of success. Boys and girls, the class of 2023, we are all different color balloons with different abilities, different skill sets, different backgrounds, different upbringing, different family cultures, different traditions, different opportunities, different resources, different challenges. We all have a different outsides. But guess what? Everybody has who has researched the height of success and has made a mark in the world hasn't even done is based on color of the balloon. Hasn't even done it based on resources. Haven't even done it based on opportunity. Hasn't even done it based on skills. Hasn't even done it based on what have just learned in school, college, and universities. These are all the colors of the balloons and extremely important. Everybody who has left a mark in the world and has made the world a better place are the ones who had the right kind of gas filled inside their balloons. We, as we saw our outside, it is very, very crucial and important to fix our inside because only those who have their inside sorted and inside fixed have reached high up in the sky. Which is why don't they say it's not our aptitude but our attitude? They decided our attitude in our life. Yes, yes, we definitely lead aptitude. Our schools, our universities, our teachers have give us the aptitude. But along with that, they have also given us the right attitude by their own example. Our families have given us the right attitude by their own example. For example, when you see an iceberg, you see only the tip of the iceberg on the surface of a water, don't we? Achievement of others, the failures, their opportunity, their popularity, their achievements, their accolades, their wealth, their money, their fancy cars, their homes, their fancy vacations and holidays is all the tip of the icebergs what we see. But right underneath the surface is a huge, humongous iceberg, which is unseen to the eyes of the world. The world seems the tip of the icebergs, the money, the popularity, the success, the achievements. What we do fail to see in a huge iceberg underneath the surface of the water, The failure, the patience, the determinations, the grit, the courage, the trouble, the struggle, the resilience, the tendency. All of this is what makes the little tip sustainable and seen to the worlds as you are now going to embark our new journey. And as you work on achieving that tip of the iceberg, my prayer today is that you never forget the unseen. Take inspirations from your heroes, from your role models, from your families, from your teachers, and learn as a humongous iceberg underneath the surface of the water that is responsible for the tip of the icebergs to remain here. Remember always, it took a lot of sleepless nights to become an overnight success. And therefore, here is the first principle that I want to share with all of you today. If you want to get the seen, focus and work on the unseen. If you want to tip to be up there, focus on the huge iceberg underneath the surface. If you want your balloons, the beautiful balloons, colored balloons, to soar high up, focus on what is filled inside as well. How many of you loving going on a holiday? All of us? How many of you loving travel? Oh, okay. I just put my hand down. I hate traveling because in a year, sometime I end up with taking over 30 to 35 flights. That is insanity when it comes to traveling, and you can have all kind of experiences when you travel. Like I was flying once, the stewards comes up to me. I am not going to mention the airline. The stewardess comes to me and says, "Welcome on board, sir. We guaranteed takeoff." I said, "Landing, madam." She said, "You are a monk. It's not, it's important to pray." Oh, takeoff or landing. The three biggest fear people had back in the day were never was number one. The fear of public speaking. Anybody here? Okay. Number two was the fear of death. Anybody here? Okay. Number three was the fear of flying on an airplane. I guess that is why they call an airport a terminal, possibly. Oh, and those three fears have now replaced with the biggest fear today. Number one, battery of the smartphone time. Number two, poor Wi-Fi signal. And number three, that wheel on your phone while stay still buffering when you are watching a Netflix show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in my experience of traveling, I hate travel because it's just so much of it. But how long can you keep saying, "I hate it, I hate it, I hate it"? I do not know. I don't know when you we stop the self-defeating talk. It hate this subject. I hate this subject. I hate living home. I hate going here. I hate doing this. I hate, I hate, I hate. The self-defeating talk stop us from reaching where we want to reach in our lives. I have traveled to the United States. I said, right, I am like doing insane stuffs. I am an insane guy. I remember going to the US once, flying to the New York City and then going to Oakland for a tour. I was in the US for 16 hours. I flew for 22 hours to be in the US for 16 hours and go back to Mumbai for another functions, and in 6 days after that I flew back to New York City 17 and a half hours to be there for 18 hours and came back again for a functions in Mumbai. 3 days after that, I flew back into to Chicago to be there for 36 hours to come back to Mumbai, and at the immigrations there was an Afro-American guy sitting there. She said, "Why don't you just stay, young man? You are just chipping in and out all the time." And guess what I learned? When you are traveling so much, 17 and a half hours of a flight, Mumbai to New York, we are all looking forwards to reach the destinations where the flight lands. But in looking forward to the destinations, very often, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we forget to enjoy the journey. What a sheer waste of 17 and a half hours. If I say I hate flying, I don't hate this. I don't being on the flight. I hate this food on the flight. I hate being on the seat. I hate. And I will only be happy when I land and I am in New York. I have wasted 17 and a half hours of my precious time. I have wasted my journey. What I want to share with all of you is we move from one point to another point, go from one destination to another. You can hear in the kindergarten. You move to generate one destination point A to B. In between the journey was 365 days, and you have been moving from one destination to another. Today at the school is your final destination. You move out now, looking forward to your next destination at Columbia, at NYC, at Yale, at Stanford, at Oxford. And what I do want to share this with all of you is destinations are important, but do not forget to enjoy the journey because the journey to the destinations is very long. And I have seen a lot of time that we become destinations addict and forget to enjoy. How many of you had a great time in DAIS? How many of you had a great time with your friends? How many of you enjoy the journey? Okay, wow. It's look like I need to take my clothes off and come back, madam, to DIS to experience this beautiful journey I was sharing with her an inspiring story. This is a class in London, 7-year-old, and the teachers asked all the kids what to do want to be when you grow up. Some of them said doctors, some of them said lawyers, some of them said actors, some of them said solicitors. One boy was white. The teacher turned to the boy and said, does it take that long to answer that questions? Very thoughtfully. The boy said, when I grow up, madam, I want to be happy. The teacher said, boy, looks like you haven't got the right questions. The 7-year-old said, madam, looks like you haven't got good life right. Because if you would have gotten life right, you wouldn't know that everything that we do in wanting to be happy. And this answer was given by the legendary John Lennon of a Beatland groups. It was John Lennon who said this. You didn't get life right, and therefore, as you move from one destination to another, do not forget to enjoy the journey and be happy. How many of you are failed in any exam ever in your life? Some courageous souls raising their hands. A boy was once walking with his dad, college going boy, and his friend messaged him, said, our college results are going to be out very soon. Boy messaged say back, the boy messaged back saying, I am walking with dad. If he picks the phone up and he sees I have failed in any subjects, I will be taken off a task. So let's communicate in code language. If I fail in one subject, say good morning to you. I will understand. If I fail in two, say good morning to you and dad. I will understand. A couple of minutes back, he got a message saying good morning to you, dad, family, and friends. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we all have had our own failures. We all have had our own disappointments. And as you embark on this new journey, you will have yours. Life is what it is. With all of your dreams, with all of your aspirations, with all your ambitions, life does what it does to us. And when failures do come, disappointment do come, we need something very incredible. I remember when I was graduating, when I was finished my diploma in engineering, I stood stacken in the state of Maharashtra and I missed my first rank by 4 marks. I was very, very disappointed. I came back home with tears in my eyes, and it is at that time I remember my father coming and patting on my back and said, "Look, dear son, people will forget the grades and people will forget the marks. At the end of it all, what matters is to keep spark alive. We need somebody to help us that keeps spark alive." You know something? All of us in us have the spark, all of us. That spark to do something, the spark to make a difference, the spark to succeed, the spark to show high. And this is what life does to us, drunk us in a glass of water. This is what life did to me and what I wanted to stand first. As was disappointed. I lost my first rank in the state of Maharashtra by 4 ranks, by 4 marks. And what life does to us kills that spark within. This is what life does. Extinguished the spark. Sometimes we feel I just can't keep going. I can't do it. I can't. I feel helpless. It's at those times that we needed somebody to trigger that spark back within us. If you don't have this somebody, we will be lost. For me, it was my dad. And I hate saying it. I disagree with him. I didn't speak to him for 2 full years. He had to fall on my feet and say sorry, son, of whatever I did. I did not say very sorry. My father left in year 2029, and every single year I felt I will go and say sorry, dad. I shouldn't have put you through this. He was the one who stood by me to lighting me up, and I, in my young G and in my youth enthusiasm to achieve and be who I was very rude. Very rude to the same people who lights us up. The graduating class of 2023, when life takes the spark off, you will need someone. Is it your mom, your dad, your teacher, your mentors, your guides, your friends? Find somebody who will light you up. This is the third things I would like to share with you this evening. And here is the last little things that I did like to share with you. Since I fly so much, if the stewards doesn't come up for that day, I did probably end by making the announcements myself. If there be a lack of oxygen supply in the cabin, oxygen masks will deploy from the panel above your head. Pull the mask sharply to activate the flow of oxygen. Secure the mask on your face and nose. Breathe normally. Make sure your mask is in place before you help children, infants, and others. It is very important to put your mask in place before we can put the mask on somebody else. Mark Twain said something very interesting. He said, "There are two most important days in life. One is the day when we born up, and the second is the day we find out why we born in this world." You were all born to make a difference. You were all born to change mark makers. You were all born to be a catalyst of change in the sometime dark worlds that we live in. But do remember, if you don't have your mark on, you wouldn't be able to put the mark on anybody else's face at all. And which is why, as you achieve, as you grow, as you make your balloon so high in the sky, as you make sure that the tip of your iceberg is up there, do not forget to care of yourselves. You despite more than what you are giving yourselves. More respect, more love, more time, more kindness, more compassion. And when you receive all of that, you will definitely be in a position to share it with others. So, graduating class of 2023, number one, work on the unseen so that the seen can soar high. Graduating class of 2023, lesson number two. Do not forget to be happy during the journey because the journey can be long one until we reach our destination. Lesson number three, always have somebody when you lose it to bring that spark back again in you. In my last parting things, make sure your oxygen mask is in place before you have a bright future to make a difference in this world. to being impactful. Thankful to all.